What's up, everybody? I'm Outz, and in this video we are about to fix our computers so that we can run Apex Legends in Season 6 and get Rampart to be without having lag spikes, FPS drops, and all that crazy stuff. We're going to get everybody's computer to be on the same page, and this works not just for Apex, guys. Any application, any game that you play. I'm going to help you. Check this out.
Take your mouse and click the button, won't you subscribe to me? Lockouts, providing the content that you see. I'm visually stimulating your mind, 1 minute at a time.
Alright guys, check this out. What we're going to do is optimize our computer so that everybody's computer is on the same page. Nothing that I tell you in this video is going to hurt your computer at all. There's no questions that you need to ask for comments or concerns or anything like that. Timestamps are going to be down below so that you can jump around the video and stuff like that. Every time that I tell you to restart your computer, I want you to restart your computer. Don't skip a step, don't do multiple steps and then restart your computer. When I tell you to restart it, I want you to restart it. So first things first is we're going to get everybody's computer to be in the best top tier performance that we can get so that we know that Apex is going to run on our machines. And this not only works for Apex Legends, guys, but for any application and any other game that you play. All right, now there's going to be programs that you're going to have to get and different things that you're going to have to do. I've been fixing this since Season 1. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people, so if you guys got questions or comments, or you guys want to tell us how awesome this is or what it was that helped you, please leave your comments down below and, you know, help the next fella out. This video again is not sponsored by anybody. You know, I'm doing this to help you guys out, so I want you guys to help me back, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just click the subscribe button. Clicking the subscribe button lets me know that I helped you. So, you know, do a fella a solid and click the button, man. You don't have to turn on notifications if you don't want to, but you know, like I said, this ain't sponsored by anybody. I'm doing this by myself out of the kindness of my heart, and you know, I want y'all to help me back a little bit, so help a fella out. Click the button. First thing that I want you guys to do is to make sure that your BIOS has the latest update BIOS. So make sure that your BIOSes are all updated. Make sure your drivers are all updated. Make sure Windows is completely updated. I want you to go in here to your update and security. I want you to run your updates, okay? So my computer is completely updated. I'm recording this right now. I'm not going to do that. So, you know, update your computer completely, and after Windows updates, whatever cumulative update that you have or whatever it is that's going on, make sure that you get that and you have the latest Windows 10, okay? Ever since like the early 1800s versions of Windows 10, they started messing with Windows timers and stuff like that, and adding timers on top of timers, and we're going to address all these concerns. Now, a couple things have changed since Season 5, all right? They have optimized some more game files. There's not as bad as a RAM leak issue, but there's still an issue. So if you have only like 16 gigs of RAM or less, Apex is going to give you stuttering problems, and we're going to address that and help you guys out there. All right, so after you guys have updated all your drivers and your BIOS and all that stuff, the very first thing that I want you guys to do is to go down here into the little search bar. I want you to type in run. When you type in run, you're going to get this little box that pops up and looks like this. In that box, you're going to type in msconfig. That's Microsoft Config for short, okay? Click OK. When you click the OK button, you're going to get a box that pops up and looks just like this. When you get this box that pops up, you guys are going to click the second tab over for the boot option. Now listen, I'm going to be very, very clear because the last couple of seasons that I've been telling people to do this, there's been some problems with some people. If you have an old school spinning hard drive, or if you're just not sure, don't do this, okay? If you have an NVMe or an SSD drive for your Windows 10 boot, for your booting option, that Windows 10 is on that hard drive of an SSD or an NVMe, you could do this. This will help you boot faster into Windows, okay? If you have the old school spinning revolving hard drive, don't do this, all right? Now, if you do have an SSD or an NVMe, what you're gonna do is check the no GUI boot, and then make your timeout 3, 4, or 5 seconds. Pick a number, 3, 4, or 5. Sometimes 3 is too fast for people, and 5 is one of the best numbers. My computer boots really fast because I got an 8-core 16-thread Ryzen. If you have like an older Intel system or an older system, but you are on an SSD or NVMe, make your timeout 5 seconds, okay? And now this goes for everybody. This here. I want you to click the advanced options. You're gonna get the boot options thing that looks like this tab that pops up. You're gonna click this box right here that says number of processors. Whatever the maximum number is, I have an 8-core, 16-thread Ryzen 7, so I'm gonna click 16. If you have 4, 8, 12, 32, 64, whatever the highest number of processors is, click that and select it. The next one over is maximum memory. This one here, you do not want Windows to allocate and use all your RAM. You want it to, automatically distribute it. This is the one thing that you don't want Windows to automatically, or this is the one thing that you want Windows to automatically do, is handle your RAM allocation, okay? Now, when you click OK, this is going to enable all your cores to be booted with, so that you boot into Windows faster, and they're guaranteed active and force enabled within Windows. Click Apply, click OK. It's going to ask you to restart your computer. Restart your computer. Now, I'm going to end this step right here by saying this. A lot of people have Googled this and said, this is for Windows testing purposes, to limit cores and to do all that. You're absolutely right. It's to limit cores, or to use all cores. Do you understand? You can make it run on 1, you can make it run on 6, or if you have 8, you can make it run on 8. If you got 16, you can make it run on 16 threads. Do you understand? It's for testing purposes, but it also forces all of your cores on, guaranteed. So it does not matter. You don't want Windows to be sitting there going, you know what, I think I'll only use 6 cores for this. And then it takes time for it to have to think about how many cores that it wants to automatically use. A lot of people say, Windows 10 by default will run all your cores. That's not true. There's a lot of people that's here watching this right now that didn't have all their cores enabled and that had no idea that they had to turn them on. So leave a comment below for how long's it been since you owned your computer and you never ever turned all your cores on and forced them on. It will not hurt your computer to activate and run all your cores. If you bought an 8-core processor, you want to use all 8 cores. You don't want Windows to be like, yeah, I'll only use 2 for this. You don't even realize that it's only using the 2, because Windows is automatically doing whatever it wants. Doing this ensures that they are forced on. So yes, it is for testing purposes, and it's also to guarantee that all your cores are on, okay? Now, the next thing that you guys are going to do after you restart your computer and you come back to the video right here. And if you're coming back to the video, welcome back. We're going to enable Ultimate Performance Power Plan, okay? Windows 10 by default will run on power saving stuff and things like that. So if you have like screensavers on and your desktop goes black, or you have timeouts on, all that, turn all that off. This is going to help everybody's computer, and it's going to, like I said, work not just for Apex, but every game in every single application, guys. So again, click the subscribe button, help a fella out. All right, in order to enable Ultimate Performance Power Plan, you have to get into the Windows PowerShell. In order to do that, you have to go down here to where the start button is. You right click on it. You will see Windows PowerShell Admin, okay? Click that button. Click yes. You'll get a blue box that pops up and looks like this. Now go down into the comment section and you're going to get this Windows 10 Power Plan code, and it starts with Power CFG, duplicate scheme, and all these letters and numbers and all that stuff. You're going to right click it, copy it, go up here to where the blue box is, and you're going to hit Control and V and paste it, okay? When you hit enter, it's going to look like this, and you're going to see Ultimate Performance is done right here. That means that it's automatically turned on now. It's a hidden setting that's within Windows. Windows won't turn it on and run your computer at a top tier. You have to go and do all of these things. People buy their computers, they don't realize that, hey, I have to go and optimize all this shit, because Windows turns on so much crap and does so many bad things to your computer for gaming. So doing this will turn on Ultimate Performance Plan. Now in order to get it, you're going to go down in here to the search bar again. You're going to type in Edit Power, and when you type in Edit Power, you'll get a little green power plug that pops up and looks like this. Click it, okay? And what you're going to do then is up here on the top, there are all of these little things that you could click on. The last one says Edit Plan Settings, okay? Or I mean Power Options. You want the second to last one that says Power Options. You're going to click that one. And now since we've enabled Ultimate performance, we have to go down there and select wherever the ultimate performance is. You can see here I've enabled it. I have multiple ultimate performance power plans. So the one that you just turned on, ultimate performance, select it. When you select it, you're going to click change plan settings, okay? You're going to turn the display off, never. Put the computer to sleep, never. What the hell is the point of having our computers overclocked and we're gaming, or I'm trying to hide in a computer, or I mean trying to hide in a corner somewhere in like Apex or something, and because I didn't move for 45 seconds, then my screen time's out. Well, what? We don't want that to ever happen. If you're gonna go to bed at night, turn your computer off. If you're going away from your computer for an hour or two, turn it off, come back and turn it back on. It does not hurt your computer to keep your monitors and stuff on, okay? Think of how you can fall asleep with your TV on, right? Not gonna hurt your stuff to leave it on. Stop turning your displays off. Stop letting Windows say, hey, I can turn things off. You don't want Windows to say, hey, I can turn things off. Now, after all that being said, click change advanced power settings. Hard disk, you want to turn the hard disk off, put it on 0. The next thing that you want is desktop background settings, slideshow, you want that to be on paused. The next thing that you want is if you are on a laptop or if you're gaming on wireless on your computer, you want wireless adapter settings, power saving mode, click on this and then go all the way to maximum performance. Don't click maximum power setting, make sure that you click maximum performance, okay? The next thing after that you're going to click is going to be PCI Express, link power management. You want this to be off. Make sure that this setting is off in PCI Express. The next thing that you want is processor power management, okay? Minimum processor state, set it to 100%. Maximum processor state, set it to 100%. System cooling policy, set that to active, okay? What this does here is if you have, let's just say you have a 5 gigahertz computer, okay? And you are watching a video or you're just surfing the web, your computer will run at 5 gigahertz. It will not downclock under 5 gigahertz and it won't run above 5 gigahertz. It's running, its minimum and maximum is at 5 gigahertz. It does not hurt your computer to run at the frequency that it is posted to run at all the time. Letting your computer downclock underneath whatever its maximum clock rate is. So if you have a 3.8 gigahertz processor, and setting your minimum processor state to 5 or 10% will let it underclock under the 3.8 gigahertz, which means that if you're in Apex and you're in a field and it's not using only 20 or 30% of your CPU, it's going to downclock under that 3.8 gigahertz, which means you're going to get less frames per second. Do you understand? So set this to 100 on both settings so that you have a stable, consistent frequency on your CPU. Does not hurt your computer at all to use what it is. My computer's overclocked to 4 gigahertz right now. I run it 4 gigahertz all day long. Ever since the day that I bought it, I've overclocked it and it's set right here, right where it is. The next thing that you want is display. Turn display off, never. Click apply, click OK, and then restart your computer. When you restart your computer and you come back in, it's going to enter that little line of code for the registry for the ultimate performance power plan, and then come back into the video and we'll carry on from right here. All right. So the next thing that I want you guys to do is when you guys put Windows on your computer, a lot of people don't go into the settings and then optimize the computer for settings. So this is one thing I didn't tell you guys in the last couple of videos that I did for Apex Legends, but I'm going to tell you how to do that this time. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is go over into your settings. You're going to go over into your privacy, general, everything's off, speech off, ink and typing off, activity history off, location off, camera and microphone you want on because you use them, okay? Voice activation off, notifications, anything else that's in here that you could turn off, turn it off. The biggest thing that you're going to get a huge, massive performance gain out of is your background apps. Take this and turn it off. Do not let Windows automatically run programs in the background, because when you're gaming, you don't want other shit loading up or running in the background uselessly, pointlessly, and starting up and running for no reason, okay? So turn it off. This is going to be the biggest one that you're going to see performance gains from is background apps. Turn all of these off. File system, video, everything that I have that's in here, it's all off, guys. There's nothing on. Anything that I have that's on is only my camera and microphone. Everything else is turned off. Windows has no permission from me to automatically do whatever the hell it wants to. It takes more resources for it to be thinking about all the stuff that you have that's turned on. So we're turning it all off, okay? The next thing that you want is like Cortana and all that. You want that off. The gaming tab right here. Now, if you have game mode, I want you to turn when game mode is on, Windows optimizes your PC for play. It used to be that this would turn off tons and tons of different things in Windows, but it doesn't anymore because it used to affect negatively for when game mode was on for, you know, different people's computers, because not everybody keeps everything top tier all the time, you know, checking for updates and keeping all their stuff going. So turn this on. Only thing that this does is really just disable a couple little Windows networking things for the way that it'll talk to Microsoft back and forth. So just turn on game mode. It doesn't hurt your computer. It's not really going to do anything crazy. As far as the Xbox networking and all that, make sure all that is turned off. Now the next thing that I want you to do is to go down into your taskbar right here, right click on it. I want you to click Task Manager. I want you to click on Startup. Anything that is in here, look at all the programs that I have. But there's only just my G Hub, my IQ, and my Adobe Updater is the only thing that is enabled for when my computer starts up. All my audio drivers, okay? Nothing else is on. I turn everything else off. Do not let your computer start and then, you know, be loading programs, because as it's starting and trying to turn itself on and get everything all straightened out as you first turn it on, it's now automatically doing the loading the programs things too. So it'll take forever for your computer to start with programs starting in the background. So turn all of them off right here. So if you don't want them, you just click on this thing right here, click disable. You just right click on it. Right click, enable, right click, disable. You know what I mean? So there you go. Disable them all. Like I said, the only ones that I have on is just my IQ, my LG G Hub, my audio stuff, and my Adobe stuff. That's the only thing that I let my computer start with. If I want to use that program, I'll start it up when I want to use the program. There's no need for me to let Windows go and be running all kinds of shit every time I turn my computer on, and then it's needlessly and pointlessly taking up resources and running in the background. It creates stutter and lag and stuff like that, okay? So turn all that off. All right, now getting back into the nitty gritty. What we're going to do now, guys, is we are going to disable HPE timers. And if you don't know what HPET is, it's high performance event timers, or okay, high precision event timers is what they are. And if you have an older system, you're able to disable it within your BIOS. So go and check in your BIOS and see if you have HPET. If you have it in your BIOS, turn it on in your BIOS. You want it on in your BIOS, but you want it off in Windows. You want your BIOS to be able to use high precision event timers for your, you know, your GPU and CPU and your monitor, you know, your mouse and things like that, okay? So enable to do this, guys, what you guys are gonna do is go down in here and you're gonna type in run. When you get run, you're gonna get this little box that looks like this. I want you to type in CMD. When you get CMD, you're gonna get black box that pops up, and this black box looks like this. Now listen, every time I tell you right here to restart your computer, restart it. Don't do 2 or 3 steps and then restart it. You're going to hurt your computer. Well, you're not going to hurt it. You're going to make it a pain in the ass to get rid of the Windows bloated timer. Do them one at a time, remove the code, and when you restart your computer, it takes it off, and then it inserts the new registry edit that we're going to do right here, okay? So we're pulling the registry edits out of Windows. It's not going to hurt your computer. If anything, the worst case scenario is you would just restart your computer and Windows would be like, hey, I need that, and then it would automatically download it, and you would have to, you know, disable it again. That's the worst case scenario. It's not actually going to hurt your computer. The whole point about this is so that we can get timer resolution so that the milliseconds on it say 0.500 hard locked like this. If you are using timer resolution and it says any number except 0.500, that means that you have Windows bloated timers within your computer. It'll say 0.499 or 0.487 or 0.523 or some crazy number. Anything that's not 0.500 means that you don't have a hard locked nice latency, and that's going to affect frame pacing, the way that your mouse reacts, how things show up on your computer and stuff like that. That's why we're taking these away. All right, so in order to do this, guys, you're going to go down and you're going to get this command right here. It says BCD edit, use platform clock, no. You're going to copy it, you're going to go up here, you're going to paste it, okay? hit enter. I'm not going to do this because it's going to enter a registry setting into my computer, and I've already done this, and I don't want to, you know, be messing up things already. I'm just showing you guys what I have that's on my computer. I've been doing this for 6 seasons. It won't hurt your computer. This is going to get rid of timers that are shitty ones, okay? And it's going to help your computer out. So again, use platform clock no, hit enter, and it's going to tell you the command was done, it was successful, or whatever it was. It's going to be, that's great. And then restart your computer. When you restart your computer, come back into the video. We're going to do this again, okay? Now, welcome back if you're back to the video. The next one that we're going to do, guys, is called BCD edit. Use platform tick yes. This is the number 2 one. This one disables fake bloated Windows timers, okay? So again, go back into your command box, bring this up, and then copy, use platform tick yes, paste it in here. Yes, hit enter. It's going to say it was successful, or, you know, completed, or whatever it says that it is. Just make sure that it was done correctly, and it'll say if it was. And then restart your computer, and then come back to the next one, okay? What you're doing here is every time you restart your computer, you're taking the old line of code out, and you're putting this new line of code that you just put into the registry in. Restarting your computer removes the old code, and then when it restarts, it inserts the new one that we just put in there. That's why you have to restart your computer after every one of these steps, so you remove that one line of code, and we put this new one in there, okay? Now, this is going to be a possible performance gain, and it's going to be highly dependent on your computer, whether or not it's AMD or Intel. I have this on my Ryzen 7 8-core 16 thread. Like I said, it's overclocked to 4 gigahertz. I have 32 gigahertz of 32 megahertz RAM. I have an X470 Prime Pro chipset in this. I have AIO water cools, a GTX 1080. I've got Samsung Evo SSDs, and all the good stuff that you could possibly get to get in your computer. I have it in there, okay? So this is going to be enhanced sync technology. What this does is this actually inserts a new line of code into your registry so that your CPU and your GPU are more enhanced and synced together so that you can have more of an even frame pacing, okay? This has helped me tremendously on my Ryzen. The minute that I did this, it was like night and day, the minute that I put this in there, okay? Line of code, put the new one in there, come back into the video, we're gonna go into the next step, okay? Now, the next one is going to be for older computers, laptops, that kind of stuff. This right here will help you, okay? You're going to disable the dynamic tick that is within Windows, because older systems, Windows 10 is trying to find, you know, the medium ground of where it can run on an older system well and on a new system well. What we're doing is we're optimizing this to your computer so that it's not optimized for everybody's stuff. This is optimized strictly for your own PC, okay? And this one right here is BCD edit /set disable dynamic tick. You're going to copy it, go back over into your command box, paste it in here, hit enter. It's going to say it was successful, it was completed, whatever the good stuff is that it says that it was done. Restart your computer, remove that old line of code, insert the new line of code. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, guys, after you guys restart your computer and you come back in, we're going to get a couple of programs. These are going to help you. Some people, depending on your system, is going to need them. Other people are not going to, okay? So, all right, guys, the very first program that you guys are going to get, and this should be on everybody's computer, no matter who you are, what game it is that you play, what application or video editing, this should be on everybody's computer if you are a gamer or an editor. It's called Timer Resolution. What this does is it ensures you have the lowest latency between your CPU, your GPU, which shows up on your monitor, how fast your mouse reacts, etc., etc., etc. And remember what we started this, I was telling you guys, we want to make sure that your numbers are hard locked at 0.500. So after doing all them steps and restarting your computer, when you get timer resolution, you guys should be able to see a timer resolution of 0.500. That's hard locked. Again, if you see any other number that's in here, you're going to have to go and do the registry steps again, restart the video, get timer resolution, install it on your computer, and then after you do all them steps again, you should be able to see a hard lock number of 0.500. This will ensure that you have an awesome frame pacing in all of your shooter games or MMO or whatever it is. You'll have a nice even frame time going across them, okay? And you know, all your stuff will react super fast. So go and get timer resolution. The link for this is down below. Just go ahead and click it, guys. Download it. It's free. This I don't get any money for, you know, these links. I'm just telling you the programs that you guys need to get. This is what I run. I'm giving it to you guys. Use it. Everybody has this. It's a gamer. I mean, everybody. And if you don't have this, then you're missing out. Get it, okay? The next one that you guys are going to get is going to be Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, or ISLC for short. Okay, the link for this is going to be down below, or you could just Google Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, ISLC. All right, when you get it, it's going to look like this, guys. It's going to be a little box. It's like this. Now, as you can see, I have 32 gigs of RAM that's in my computer. Right now, I've used up 22 gigs. You can see how much more in my RAM, because we're recording and stuff like this. That I have 5 gigs that are free that's in my free memory. Now, I have 32 gigs of RAM, and I'm recording right now. What I'm going to do is purge the standby list. This is all of the buffered files that is cached onto my RAM. I just cleaned it off. When you're playing Apex Legends, last season it was really bad for a RAM leak for unoptimized video files that they had, okay? And that's why people were doing all these crazy CFG configurations, trying to get their computers to run Apex at a very low setting so that it was more stable. What I'm doing is ensuring that you are running your computer at the best so that you could just run Apex with regular settings. You understand? You don't have to do all the CFG and all that other crazy stuff and edit the game to run on your computer. We could just fix our computers and it'll run Apex then. You know what I mean? And it'll run any other game. So if you guys have 16 gigs of RAM or less, I want you to set this to 2048 megabytes, okay? 2048, okay? Everybody's list is going to be 1024 megabytes right here. If you have 16 gigs or less, 4090 or 2048 megabytes you set it to. If you have 32 gigs of RAM or more, you're going to set it to 4096 megabytes, okay? And then you're going to set your ISLC polling rate to 250. Your mouse polls at 1,000. You don't want this polling as fast as your mouse does, okay? Only thing that this does is it's going to keep track of your RAM. So whenever you start to get low on RAM and there's too many cached files, you're going to start encountering micro stutters and stuff like that within Apex. This right here, when you click the start button, anytime that it gets below 4 gigs of RAM that's in your system, it'll automatically purge it, remove that old stuff, and let new files be cached onto your RAM. Does not hurt your RAM to purge the old stuff off of it. I stream and I play, and it cleans my RAM 200 and 300 and 400 times in a session of 6, 7, 8 hours of playing, right? Doesn't hurt my computer at all. I've been doing this for years with the same stuff, guys. So go ahead and use this. This is going to help you. It'll get rid of micro stutters and jitters and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And ISLC it's a miracle worker. Now, there's another thing I'm going to tell you right here. Timer resolution, this thing that there is right here, do not use this, okay? Don't use this. Don't enable this, okay? The reason being is because we already have timer resolution. We don't want to use another timer on top of a timer. That's what we already pulled the Windows 10 timers off of. So we don't want to have another program, inserting a timer on top of a timer for us, okay? So there's no need to do this. So do not check this box here. So again, if you are under 16 gigs or under, set it to 2048. If you have 32 gigs of RAM or more, or if you're over 16 gigs, if you have mismatched RAM in your system or whatever, set it to 4096 so that every time your system gets below that threshold, it'll automatically purge the RAM. It'll keep your computer from stuttering because it's running out of memory, okay? The next thing that you guys are going to get after that is going to be RTSS, Riva Statistics Server, okay? And this is going to be dependent on your computer. Last season, I used to run my computer with G-Sync and V-Sync off. I have a G-Sync monitor. I would turn G-Sync off, and then I would use Riva, okay? And when I would use Riva, it enables your frame pacing. It also is a frame cap limiter. It does all these other things. So when you start up Riva, this is what it looks like right here, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. If you have a G-Sync or a V-Sync monitor, try this with it off, and then use scanline sync and a negative number, okay? This is wherever the tier line is, it's on your screen. When I would play Apex with my G-Sync off, my tier line would be somewhere right in here, right at the bottom of this. This is where it would be. And I would set my scanline sync to negative 160, and that would pull the tier line from right here to the very bottom of my screen, but not off of it. It would pull it to like right here. You can see how you could barely see my mouse right there. It would pull it right down here into the very bottom, that tier line. So it moves your tier to here. What scanline does is it pulls the frame that's coming into the back and to the front of the frame, and the one that's overlapping. Picture two pieces of paper. When this piece slides over top of this one, you get that line. See where the lines are in between the two? That right there is called a tier line. And you're playing on two frames at once when you get tier lines, and it creates stutter. You don't actually hit your shots because you got frames overlapping each other. Scanline will pull that front frame to the bottom so that you're actually operating on the back frame, and it's pulling it down. You understand? And that's what scanline does. So in order to use scanline sync, you have to disable G-Sync or V-Sync within your monitor and in your NVIDIA control panel or your AMD panel. Disable it in both. Disable it on your graphics card, disable it on your monitor, and then use scanline sync. Find out where the tier line is. Use negative numbers. Move it in increments of 10, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. You'll see the line going down or going up your screen. If you use a negative number and it goes up your screen, that's fine. You just want to move it to the very top or to the very bottom of your screen. You don't want to move it all the way off of your screen. You want the tier line to be right at the very edge so that you are actually pulling that frame to the front and you're operating on it. Do you understand? Now, if you have like a GTX 1080 or, you know, like a 1070 Super or 2070 Super or something like that, you don't have to do this, or I don't have to actually. I turn V-Sync on now. I actually run G-Sync or V-Sync. I turn it on my monitor, and then what I do is I set my frames caps to 140, okay? And I'm running on a 144 hertz panel. What this does is it's a frame rate limit cap, but Riva Tune also is a frame pacing program. Not only will it cap your frames at 140, but instead of having, you know, like 7.2 milliseconds in this frame, 9.1 in this one, 4.7 in this one, 5.2 in this one, it will ensure you have 140 FPS of, you know, 7.1 milliseconds all the way across every single frame. So if you're in a field, or if you're out in a fight somewhere, if you're out over here, it will try to keep your frame pacing, you know, your frames are going to drop, but it'll try to keep the frames for how they're lapping together from overlapping each other, so you don't end up with a tier line, okay? So enable G-Sync or V-Sync, turn it on your graphics card, turn it on your monitor, and then use frame rate limit cap, and then use frame rate limit cap and set it to whatever. So if you got a 240 hertz monitor, set it to 231. You want it to be 9 FPS under, okay? If you're running a 144 hertz monitor, you want it to be 4 FPS under, okay? And what this does is there's going to be rapid fluctuations, and sometimes it'll peak 143, sometimes it'll dip down to 138. The main thing about this is try to keep it as consistent at 140 as you possibly can. If you are unable to hold 140 FPS or 231, turn your hertz on your monitor to 120. Even if you have a 144 hertz monitor, listen, you're getting stutters and micro stuff and all that because you have G-Sync enabled and it's falling below that 144 hertz and it's downclocking the monitor, upclocking the monitor and all that. It's better for you if you can hold like say 128 or 130 FPS. It's better for your monitor to be at 120 hertz and be above the threshold so you never get a tier line. You understand? You end up with tearing because it's dropping under the hertz of the monitor. As long as you're above the hertz, you should be fine. If you start doubling the hertz of the monitor, say you have a 144 hertz monitor and you pull 300 FPS, then you get something where the front frame instead of the back frame comes over it, and you end up with a tier line again. It's just because you have so much going on and your GPU is rendering so fast, okay? So again, this is going to be highly dependent on you guys. It's going to be how you guys test your systems if you have G-Sync or V-Sync. Again, if you're going to use scanline sync, use it in negative numbers. Don't use anything in a positive number. So if you would set this to like, you know, plus 20 or a plus 40, what that does is it turns on like a type of a V-Sync. V-Sync enables a little bit of a lag. Nobody wants to play with that. So using a negative number ensures that you pull the back frame instead of the front frame forwards. Do you understand? Using a negative number pulls the back frame forwards. That's why you want to use negatives. So that you could move that tier line wherever it is, either up or down your screen. So use negatives. Even if you use a negative and the tier line is going up your screen this way, move it to right here. Move it to right there. If you're using negatives and it's moving it down your screen, move it to right here at the very bottom, right there. Okay? That's where you want it. RTSS is going to help you. I don't need to actually run this anymore. They've optimized the game and they fixed a lot of stuff. I still have to run ISLC though. I still have to use this program, and I always run timer resolution no matter what. So I always run timer resolution. As soon as I start my computer, I use timer resolution. I start it, I click max, and then I just let it run on my taskbar, and it just sits there. It's super lightweight, doesn't do anything, doesn't take any GPU, okay? The next thing that I'll do when I run Apex is I'll start up my ISLC, and then I'll click the start button, and then it just minimizes and it goes over here and sits into your little corner, okay? And the next thing that I'll do is just go ahead and load up Apex Legends, all right? I use RTSS strictly for a frame rate cap. That is it. I don't use it for scanline sync or anything else like that. I don't even use the in-game limiter in Apex. If you guys use the in-game limiter in Apex and you're like, you know, use the little CFG code for the launch option, it's like, you know, plus FPS underscore max FPS, and you could set 0 and it's unlimited, or set it to 140 or whatever number you want. You could set it in the engine. Unfortunately, Apex runs on 20 hertz servers, so the more shit that you tell the engine to do, it's the more stuff that it has to do. That's why I stay away from anything that has to do with launch options in Windows, or I mean for Apex Legends, okay? I use this for my frame rate cap because when I use the in-game limiter, my frames are all over. You could see them. There'll be 143, 138, 143, 148, and it's trying to hold it, and you could see them. They're like this. Bounce it around, 143, 144, 139. It's just like this. That's the in-game limiter. When I use RTSS, it's 140, and it just stays there. It doesn't. There is no 139 or 141. It's 140, and that's it. And very even frame times, everything. It's this program is legit, man. So I'm telling you guys, the links that I'm gonna post you guys are down below for RTSS, ISLC, and timer resolution. Those are the 3 programs that you guys are going to want to get. Now, look, tens of thousands of people are going to watch this video. Tens of thousands of people are going to download these programs. If these download links get disabled, that means that they're trying to coax you guys into going over there and buying these programs. They're free programs, guys. They don't cost any money. Just Google them. If my links end up being disabled after too many people download them from me, because I sent them over there last year, we did 60, or last season we did 60,000 views. So you picture 40,000 or 30,000 people click that link to download these programs, right? So again, we're gonna suggest that you guys Google Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. I'm going to suggest that you Google Timer Resolution, and I'm going to suggest that you Google Riva Tune Statistics Server, okay, RTSS. Those are the 3 things that you guys should Google on your own. Find the download links. They're free. Don't download, you know, bad shit from the wrong site. Make sure that you're actually where you should be, okay? My links are going to be posted down below, but again, if they do get disabled, that's my bad. That's just because, you know, they know how many people was coming over there to use their stuff, and they're trying to send you to buy the program now. So they're free. They're going to give it to you. Just Google them, all right? And let's see, what is the next thing that we need to do here? All right, so we're going to end this up, guys, with TCP Optimizer. This is going to be the last program you need, okay? And you only need to run this once. TCP Optimizer is going to do a ton of registry settings, okay? It used to be before Windows 10, you would have to go into your registry and do all of this one by one by one by one by one by one by one, and it would be a pain in the ass and super tedious, okay? So go get TCP Optimizer. The link is in below. What this is going to do, guys, is, how do I explain this to you? Okay, we're going to figure it out. Let me see. All right. So here's my remote for my lights that are in here, okay? See my remote right here, guys? This is my remote control. Picture this being a packet, okay? What TCP Optimizer does is it optimizes UDP and TCP incoming frequencies and outgoing packets from your computer. So my computer here needs to talk to my home router, and then my home router needs to talk to my internet service provider. My internet service provider then connects me to whatever game I'm playing, okay? Before my computer talks to my internet service provider, it's making packets, and it sends them to my home router. Everybody's home router, when you first buy them, is set at 1500 MTU. Everybody's. Before your home router gets to your internet service provider will then convert that packet, you know, UDP, TCP, whatever it is, and then send it out. but your home uses TCP so that it can talk to its internet service provider before it'll send that packet and carry it ongoing and flush it through the system, okay? So, picture this being 1500. My home router, I have Bell Fiber Op and a 1 gig fiber op connection. I can't send 1500 through my fiber op. I could send 1312 though, before it'll fragment the packet and split it. So if you go and ping your speed, it'll say, yeah, dude, you have awesome speed, you got real low jitter, you got 100% packet arrival. You have 100% packet arrival of this part of the packet. If it split it, say my internet can only handle 1500 megs, right? But it's only able to send out 1312 to my internet service provider. So my home internet is actually splitting this packet. Say I push W, that's one packet, splits it, this packet arrives, the majority of the information gets there. I do move forward, but not 100%. Do you understand? Because it split this packet. So what you're going to do here, guys, is optimize your computer so that when it sends this packet from here to your home router and then it gets shut off, it's never split before it leaves your home router. You're sending one single packet because, you know, this may arrive, but this one may not. And there may be pieces of information that's on here that could be important. You just don't know because you're actually getting like 99.9999% of your packet arrival. But some shit, dude, just doesn't seem right. And you're like, I know I had a shot on that guy. How did he shoot me before me? That's because of stuff like this, okay? This program's helped a lot of people optimize their internet service so that you're able to get one packet for everything that you're doing from this computer to your home router, and then it gets shot off. Whether or not your ISLC, your internet service provider, your ISP, whether or not he splits it after that is up to them. I doubt that they will because they're your ISP. They handle way more than a 1500 for a packet size, okay? But again, 1312 is all I can handle on 1 gig fiber op, and I've got 1 gig down and 980 upload. You know what I mean? Like, so I can only do 1312 before my packet's fragment, but I still get 980 up and a gig down, but I can only do 1312 megs per packet. I can't do 1500. Okay, so what you guys are going to do here, the very first thing that you guys are going to do is go into the general settings. You're going to go down in here on the bottom and click custom. Click on this little box that says custom. You're going to get this slider that's up here at the top. You're going to slide it all the way over to where it says over 100 megabytes, 100 plus. So if you have over 100, this right here will run your stuff way over 100, okay? And then the next thing you want is your network adapter. Make sure it is selected. I've got an Intel R i211 gigabyte network connection, okay? And then the next box you want it to check is modify all network adapters. After that, we're going to go and do some optimization. So make sure all of your stuff matches mine, all right? Now right here where it says MTU, this is where you're going to set the file size for the packets that your computer is going to fire off to your home internet. We don't know what that size is. Everybody's computer is going to be different. Some people's are 1500. If it says 1500, then just leave it. You don't even have to do this. You don't even need this program because you have a great internet connection. You can send 1500 in one packet and that's beautiful. Everybody else though, you're going to have a different number that's under 1500 and you're going to have to hard set it here. So if you have any number that shows up that is under 1500, you have been fragmenting and splitting packets. Even though you're getting 100% arrival, you're still fragmenting and splitting packets, okay? Now, don't set this yet. Again, this doesn't matter. So right now, the only thing we're doing is grabbing a slider. We're turning it all the way to 100. TCP window auto tuning, you want this to be normal. Window scaling heuristics, disabled. Congestion control provider, cubic. Recede size scaling, RSS is enabled. R segment coilsing, disabled. Time to live, TTL, make that 0. ECN capability, disabled. Checksum offloading, disabled. TCP chimney offload, disabled. Large send offload, LSO, disabled. TCP 1323 timestamps, disabled, okay? Click apply changes. Now the next thing you're doing is up here is advanced settings. This is where you're going to set everything. This is going to be mostly stock. There might be a couple things that you have to change if they're not the same as what I have in here, so just follow along. Max connections per 1 server, 10. Max connections per server, 10. Local priority, 4. Host priority, 5. DNS priority, 6. DevNet 7. Max sync retransmissions is 4. Non-stack RTT resiliency disabled. Initial RTO is 2000. The min RTO is 300. QoS non-best effort limit is 0. QoS do not use NLA default not available. QoS is congestion server provided stuff, and we don't even want to mess with any of that. So turn it to 0 and not available. Network throttling disabled. F. Make sure that it's all Fs, okay? Disabled Fs. System responsiveness, you want it to be on gaming, 0. Highly responsive, okay? Gaming tweak. This is where you're going to do a little bit of gaming tweaks for your TCP acknowledge frequency. It's going to be disabled. TCP no delay enabled. TCP delay act ticks disabled. And network memory allocation, large system cache default 0. Size optimized 3. Max user port is 65,534, and TCP time to wait delay is going to be set on 30. Click apply changes. Restart your computer. When you guys go to click apply changes, it's going to insert a ton of registry edits from your network. Okay? When it goes and inserts all that stuff, you're going to restart your computer and then come back in to TCP optimizer again. So reload it up again after you restart it. And now what you're going to do after you've put all that registry stuff in there, we are now going to bench your settings after we've optimized them. Okay, you don't want to bench your settings and get an MTU before we've already turned stuff off and turned stuff on and made sure that things were right. You understand? So now what you guys are going to do is go up here where it says MTU and latency. Okay, not everybody is going to be able to ping these sites. Okay, so if you need to, you could just modify the URL. You go right here and you could type in like google.com. and you could ping Google. You know what I mean? It does not matter. I'm going to recommend that you use SpeedGuide because this is SpeedGuide's program from their website. I'm going to ping their website, so I'll go to speedguide.net, and then when you click on speedguide.net, you're going to click largest MTU. When you click largest MTU, it says please set it to 1500 in order to get the correct result. Would you like to continue? Mind you, mine is set at 1312. I already know what mine is, but I'm showing you guys, so this is what you know to do. When you click yes, it's going to set it, and then it's going to tell you right here, look, you've got fragmented files. It's fragmenting. You guys thought that you had 100% arrival. They were fragmenting. So it says the largest possible non-fragmented packet is 1284. And then it'll tell you right here, plus the ICMP IP headers is going to give it an additional few megabytes. So 1312 is the max that I could send before my packets will fragment from my home computer. Do you guys understand? Everybody's is going to be different. Now, if yours says 1500, you're perfect, because 1500 is how everything is stock. If it's under 1500, whatever this number is right here that says, it says you could set your MTU to 1312. See that? And then we're going to ping it again. So I want you guys to do this 3 times. Make sure all 3 are consistent every time you ping it, so that you can set your MTU 1312. See? I'm going to do it for the 3rd time. I'm going to ping it one more time. Boom. You can set your MTU to 1312. You guys see that, right? So then you go back over to your general settings, and whatever your MTU was, click on the custom dot down here. Enter your MTU right here, 1312. Click apply changes, and then exit. Once you do that, it's going to enter the registry edits into your computer again. Restart your computer and then come back. You've just optimized your computer for internet to send one packet. It's perfect. Some use TCP, some use UDP, some is different stuff, right? But what you're doing here is ensuring anything that's TCP sent off into your computer to your home router is going to be in one packet, guys. It's not going to be fragmented or split before it leaves your home router, okay? Now, what we're going to cover everything that we've done here, guys. We've got all your cores enabled, okay? We have Ultimate Performance Power Plan. We have Windows HPET timers. We've disabled timers. We've enabled other timers. We've got multiple different programs. We've turned different things off in Windows. We've optimized our computer completely and fully to the best characteristics that it can and that it will run at, okay?
Forget that.
I got a Spitfire. And a fucking triple take with fucking sniper optics on it. On me? They're coming to you right now? They're right outside at 69. Knocked one outside your door, Alex. Rotate to Alex right now. Get in the window. Bring him to the window, Alex. Bring him to the window. Bring him to the window.
There.
72. One's knocked in there. Got him. Good shit, buddy. They're inspecting me. They just were like, oh, okay, well, I understand now. Another team rotating on us right now. We just got pinged by Bloodhound. Get out of there. Broke his shield. Grenades on them.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I'm the kill leader. Protect. The 5-head play, bro, bringing him over to the window like that. Good job. Try to help it, son. After this, it's going to be, if you're experiencing problems, do you need a better CPU? Do you need more RAM? Do you need a different graphics card? It's going to be different things beyond this, okay, guys, if your computer is still having a problem. And you have to sit back and ask yourself, do I have a really good system? And now if you have like a 2080 Ti and like an i10 or something like that, or a Ryzen 9, and you're getting stutters and stuff like that, and this still doesn't help you, leave me a comment below, jump in my Discord, guys, get at me. I'll get to you guys, you know, on a one-on-one basis, and I'll help you guys out individually. I build hundreds and hundreds of computers a year. I also own a contract. I'm a contractor. I own a construction company. I build houses. We race dirt bikes and four-wheelers. I do everything. I want to get rid of all of that and just get really into the hard computer stuff, because this is really what I'm into. I've had a passion for this for a very, very long time, and anybody that's been following me, we're just about to break 4,000 subscribers. My goal is 10,000 by the end of 2020. We've got a couple more months. My birthday is in a couple of weeks. I'm a September 11th baby, so do me a solid for my birthday. Click the subscribe button, help a fella out. Again, this is not sponsored by anybody. This is a huge amount of my time to help you guys out, fixing your computer in every single way. I'm not just gonna tell you, hey, go get this program and we're gonna make Apex. I'm gonna actually sit down with you, half hour, 45 minutes. We're gonna do this step by step together, and you guys are gonna get your computer to sit the same way that I have mine, okay? There's a couple little things that's in here that's different from last season. So again, if you guys made it this far, man, I appreciate every single one of you. My hat's off to you, from my wife and kids and my family, man, to yours, you know. Stay safe out there. Much love. I appreciate every single one of you. I can't get over that there's so many other people that's out here like me and loves the same stuff that I do and act like I do, you know. I'm just a regular fella, but I've got a lot of knowledge in my head because I read so much, and after this, I'm gonna go and learn something else, you know. Try to learn something new every day is kind of my motto in life, and you always will be successful. So again, guys, this ain't sponsored by nobody. Help a fella out, subscribe, click the little bell, you know, do all the stuff, and, you know, be solid. That's all I can tell you. A lot of people don't ever click it. They watch my video and they're like, hey, go looking out, and I help them, and they won't just click the one little button for me. You know what I mean? So do me a solid, click the button, help a fella out. Anyways, I'm Lockouts. I hope that this helps you guys out. In season 6, we're about to get it. If anything changes, we'll make another video. But until then, peace.
Take your mouse and click the button, won't you subscribe to me? Lockouts, providing the content that you see. I'm visually stimulating your mind, 1 minute at a time.